So, Roland, I've got, this is number 3 on the back of 714. Everybody find yours. It's x to the 4th minus 3x cubed plus 6x squared minus 12x plus 8 equals 0. Whew! And what did it say?
Solve for x.
Solve for x. Be exact. So, what solutions am I allowed to have? Rational, fractions, irrational, imaginary. I've got to have it all. Now, cheater moment. Can you solve for 4 imaginary roots? You have no way to do that. You have 0 way to do that. None. So you can't do that. So this is going to have 2 rational roots and 2 that could be anything awful and horrible. Those 2 that can be awful and horrible, how are you going to solve for those 2? You're going to get it down to the quadratic equation, and then you can solve it, right? Right? But in the meantime, I got to get it down to the quadratic equation because that is not a quadratic, it's x to the 4th. It means that's 4 solutions. I have to get rid of 2 of them. So find 2 factors and get them out of there. The good news is we've done nothing but practice how to get factors out of there. The bad news is that you're not used to that yet, in spite of the fact you've been doing it for 2 weeks now. You've been doing this little game called Find the Zeros. Remember, we're doing synthetic division, right? Which means we're actually dividing an exponent, a polynomial with another polynomial every time we do this. So let's play the game. First of all, it's rational. Let's start off. How many solutions am I going to have? This flow. 4. Oh, your day of silence? She has a sign and stuff. You have nothing. All right. If you can't answer it with numbers and waving your hands, could you nudge the person next? She's not silenced, are you? Nudge her, and she's got to answer it. So be ready. Okay. So I got 4 solutions. How many are positive? 3. So I got 1, 2, 3. I got 4. 1, 2, 3. Did I do that right? Am I good? Okay, so 4 positives. Which means I have how many negatives? 0. 0 negatives. Now I'm positive there. Everybody with me? So this is like the problem that's everything in it. Everything in its kitchen sink is in this problem. If you can do this problem, you're pretty much going to be able to do everything else except follow instructions. Good? Okay. Now, if it's rational, this is going to be interesting. If it's rational, what's a list of possible rational roots? Because I know I'm going to find 2 of them. I'm going to find 4 answers. At least 2. I might find 4. But I at least got 2 of them. What's my list of possible? Plus or minus 8. Plus or minus 4. Plus or minus 2. Plus or minus 1. And we don't have a fraction 1 because there's no number in front of this, right? They're all going to be 1s on the bottom. So at least 2 of these are solvable. Maybe 4. But probably just 2 because I'm a jerk. Right? So I'm going to start this thing out. Let's start doing some Lon Division. I got 1, -3, 6, -12, and 8. They're all positive, right? So we're going to look at all in negative land. No, I'm not going to look at negative land at all. So I'm going to put a 0 in here. I got 1, -3, 6, -12, 8. I don't know why I put 0 in the middle of the chart. That was a really dumb move. I apologize to everybody for just saying that. Everybody with me? Let's try rational. 2's got to work. Let's try 2. 1, 2 gives me -1. -2 gives me 4. -4 gives me 8. This gives me -4. -8 gives me 0. I found 1 of them already. Life is good. Life is great. Let's do this problem. We've got it. In the bag. Now I'm going to try 4. 1, 4 gives me 1. 4 gives me 10. 40 gives me 28. 80, big number. 100 and something plus something. Okay, 80. 4 plus 32. 112 plus 8 is 120. That's what you're doing in the front row. Aha. So, by the way, that's an upper limit, right? So we're going to check 8. No, I'm not going to check 8. I'm wasting time. So the only one left to check is 1, and it's got to work. Otherwise, I can't do the problem. I get to smile, put a smiley face, and it's good. I can't do this problem. This is when, by the way, if you're on a test and you can get a free answer from me. You can say the following: Mr. Resnick, I don't think this has solutions. If I check it, and I will check it for you to make sure I didn't mess up, right? And I'll say, no, you can solve this one. Then you know you messed up somewhere, right? If I say, oops, okay, everybody on problem number, then you know I messed up. Put a 1 down here. 1, 1 gives me -2. -2 gives me 4. 4 gives me -8. -8 gives me 0. There's the second one. Now, here's the problem. I need 4. We know we need 4 because I said solve. I didn't say solve for rational. I didn't say estimate. I said solve. So that's not good enough because I only have 2 solutions. And I know there's 4. It's worse than that because I'm probably now pretty clear it's also going to be what? Irrational and imaginary. Both. That's terrible. Means I need to go down the quadratic equation, right? So now I'm going to back up. Didn't I already factor something out? Didn't I redo this here? I did it for 2, didn't I? X minus 2, and then what's the other thing that's left over? Who remembers how to do this? Nobody? Not a good sign. What's left over is 1x to the third minus x to the second plus 4x minus 4, right? This is the coefficients for the other thing that we divided out, right? We've been looking for 0 so long we forgot what we're doing. We're doing long division here, guys. That's what this is, the cheap way. Which means I divide out x minus 2, this is what I get. This. 1, -1, 4, -4. Now, how am I going to get another factor out of there? I'm not sure. How do I get another factor out of there?
What the hell? Oh.
And, by the way, Ms. Borwick, what am I going... Oh, no, this one I can ask the other child. What am I going to guess as my first guess that I know has to be a factor? I already pulled the 2 out, so I'm guessing 2 is not a factor. What's the other one that I know has to be a factor? Oh, front row's got it. 1, right? Because I already found 1 worked. Right? So I'm going to try 1. Now, if I only did 1 of these, by the way, I could still do the same process and find it, right? So I put a 1 in here. I got 1. 1 gives me 0. 0 gives me 4. 4 gives me 0, right? So my second one is 1. So I have x minus 2, x minus 1. Hey. Not only what you're doing is inappropriate, but I'm teaching you how to do problems that you don't know how to do. And then what's left over is at 1x squared plus 0x plus 4. So far, so good? Now, how do I solve where the last 2 solutions are going to be? What do I do to this? Might need to nudge her. Factor it? Oh, I could try to factor this. Good luck factoring that. X squared plus 4 with no middle term. Factor to 4 that gave me 0. Not going to happen. I could quadratic it, which is what the front row wants to say. I could also solve it old school. After all, it's only x squared plus 4 equals 0, isn't it? Couldn't I just move the 4 over, get x squared equals -4? Couldn't I therefore then do x equals plus or minus the square root of -4? Are you with me? And then x equals plus or minus 2i. So my solutions would be x are equal to plus or minus 2i, 2, and 1. There's my solution set. Ain't that awful? Yes, sir.
So initially, didn't you find 2 and 1 as your solution?
I did, but the problem was I can't use both of them simultaneously.
Yeah, I agree. But then you take the 2 out, right?
I took the 2 out, then wrote the second one down and found the second one, which I knew was 1, because 1 has to work, right? Because I already found it earlier worked.
So why can't you just skip the finding 1 again step?
You could skip it here, but since I need to know what this is, I have to get 1 out, right? Because I need to get it down to a quadratic form so I can solve it.
Because it's not it wouldn't necessarily always be 1,
No, it could be anything.
right?
Well, whatever. If it works for this one, it's going to work for this one. So if I already found it, I would obviously check it, right? Duh, it's going to work.
So that's just a check, putting it into the...
No, you're trying to figure out what this is. That's your goal.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Set up your next equation. That makes sense.
Right? You need your next equation. Otherwise, if I can find all 4 here, I'm done. I'm not going back. If I find 1, then I can get the rest of it and drop it over here. Yes, ma'am.
No.
You weren't talking to her. She's not
Oh,
talking.
she.
What's wrong with you two?
Honestly, what was wrong?
Okay. Right now, I am bullying. I will stop now. You got a little thing in your corner. Can I put my camera there and take a picture of the information for my day of silence? Hashtag, what are those things called? Little blurbs? All right, whatever. Question! I'm going to do 4 in a second. Absolutely. But does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
This is the one I'm afraid of. This is the one that's going to keep me up late at night because although you know every single tool that I just used and should know all the reasoning for the tool I just used, I've never asked you to take one of these from the very beginning to the very end. This is it. This is everything you know all in one problem. And there will be ones like this on the test.
No way.
Absolutely. Mr. Hall?